see black boy and white girl and black girl. So there are some systemic issues that have permeated our communities. It's going to take even more generations to overcome. But where you are sitting, young men, you have the opportunities to continue to be leaders, not just on the court, but you can certainly be leaders in the communities. So you know where the goal is on the basketball court. But in the goal of life is to continue to be a beacon of light, to bring us all together and lead us to the promised land. So thank you for this opportunity on behalf of AT&T.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, AT. Thank you. Thank you. We want to recognize the best in black college basketball. All right. Team John McClendon, our MEAC and our SIEC All-Stars, versus Team Clarence Big House Gaines, our SWAC and CIAA All-Stars. And so what I want you guys to do, I'm going to call out your name. You're going to come this way. You're going to get your plaque. But I want you to show some love to Mr. Arbery for coming out and pouring into you. You are his sons out here. And so for him to come here and pour into us tonight, we think it's very important to really shake his hand and show him some love. It's really important. All right? So the first one up. All right. Javante Cook, Winston-Salem State University. Cam Lankley, North Carolina A&T State University. Aggie Pride. We're going to speed up the process a little bit. So as Cam coming through, we got Trey DeLoach, Savannah State University. Next up, Darren DJ Jones, FAMU in the house. All right, Jordan Peebles, Virginia Union University. All right, Navarre Elmore, Livingstone College. Kasim Nicholson, Tennessee State University. All right, my man Najee Garvin, the hype man, Energy, Hampton University. Noah Morgan, the Morehouse College, Morehouse, ATL. My man Miles Carter, Delaware State University. My man Randy Miller, North Carolina Central University. Lanier Henry, Alcorn State University. Randall Brumont, Howard University. That's you. Jalen Seegers, Fayetteville State University. That's CIAA. Jaquan Lawrence, Lemoyne Owen College, Memphis. My man Taj, Benedict College. My man, Bryson Gresham, New Orleans. He's home, y'all. Give him a big round of applause. He coming back home. Texas Southern University. We just talked about that Grambling State University. Prince Moss, Grambling State University. All right, my man Kyle Foster, Howard University. My man Brandon Miller, Miles College, SIC, B-Ham. Daquan Williams, South Carolina State University. Jawan Daniels, Prairie View A&M. Jonas James, Jackson State University. We good? Is that, I didn't miss anybody. Make sure top 24 players in black college basketball. Let's give a round of applause. Who it? Let's hear it. Everybody stand up. Let's give these guys a round of applause. Let's give them a round of applause.
Can you all feel the energy? This is the HBCU experience that we're talking about. That love when you come onto a campus and you know somebody is interested in you, not just as an athlete, but also graduating and making sure that you find your way and make it through. So we're ready for our next panel, but before we do that, we need you all to take your phones out, because there's always some action. Take your phones out. Everybody got your phone. Don't even try to front. Jana, give them instructions. Go ahead. Do what you do.
Thank you. All right. I want you all to text, take the field. Take the field. And I want you to text that to 25225. Take the field. You're going to text that to 25225. When you get the reply text, you can take that to this table up here, and there's also one out in the hallway, and they will give you free merchandise once you show them that text.
After this next panel.
Right. Do not leave now, please.
after this next panel.
Free merchandise, free merchandise. You're going to text it to 25225, and you're going to text "Take the Field." All right?
And we want you to acknowledge that we have two of our sponsors and supporters of this work, Black Voters Matter. They're here. They've been strong, and the Transformative Justice Coalition, Daryl just spoke on their behalf. Both have been critical in not just sponsoring tonight, but making sure that our students from HBCUs here in New Orleans will be able to come to the game and see this great talent. So can we give it up for both of those organizations and the work that they do? With that, we want to bring up our next panel. If we can get our brother Gary Charles up. Where's brother Gary Charles? Come on up, brother. Our good sister Melissa Smith-Haley, come on up. And then one of our greatest attorneys of our generation, brother Ben Crump, come on up.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Arbery, I've gone off script. But I wanted to ask you, what do you consider to be Ahmaud's legacy? And how can these student athletes uphold his legacy?
That's a strong one, but I'm gonna tell y'all what he liked doing, working out, taking good care of his body, and love your teammates. He was the type of athlete that he wanted everybody to be successful. So y'all ride around each other, no matter how bad you play, you still keep them built up. You know what I'm saying? Keep telling them they good, and they're gonna be good.
That's right.
That's the thing he always wanted out of his teammates. He just wanted everybody to be great. So y'all just, if y'all do that there, y'all gonna be all right. You know, don't never down each other. Stick together and love each other. It ain't gonna hurt you to say you love your teammate. That's being a man.
Yes,
and that's
sir.
being a good thing. And you feel good in your heart when you do that.
Yes, sir.
And that help you win too, whether you lose or not. You always win when you tell your teammate you love them.
All right.
Thank you.
Brother Charles, advancing blacks in sports, you have been a critical player in making sure that not only do we have young men on the court and on the field, but we have people on the sidelines and in the front office that are coaching and doing the sports, not just as a player, but as decision makers. And you've been key and critical in that. As you speak to these young men that we have here, knowing the role that athletes have played with social justice and activism and the perceived dangers at times of doing that and still being an athlete, what would you share with these young men based on your experience in sports over these years, and at the same time encouraging and pushing for justice and equity in sports?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I also want to say, Travis, this is unbelievable, what you put together here. I'm proud to be part of this. For the record, I went to Cheney State, now Cheney U. Okay, so I'm big with this.
That's right.
Let me tell you why this is so important. Okay? In the NFL, 90% of the starters are black. In the NBA, 95% of the starters are black. In Power 5 Division I, in football, 90% of the starters are black. In Power 5 Division I basketball, 95% of the starters are black. My point is, we keep producing the oil and we keep giving it away. Why? We need to understand that the power that we have, and this is why it's so important for the athletes to stay involved. Now understand this. There was a time where they thought we should drink from a different water fountain. How ridiculous does that seem now? It wasn't that long ago, I was arguing with people about the NIL. Now it's here. We had to continue to keep fighting about this. And this is the reason why, with our organization, ABIS, we want to show people the things that we can do. This is why tomorrow, we're having a day party tomorrow. Okay? This is why. To bring all the college coaches together, all the people together to show the strength that we have. Because continuously, we're helping them get jobs. We're not trying to hear anymore that, Gary, we don't know who they are. Here's the cheat sheet. We're giving it to you. So we created a watch list. This is also the reason why we're doing a gala. A champion and legend gala, Memorial Weekend in Las Vegas, to honor our own. We don't need anyone else to tell us that we're important.
That's right.
We could do that ourselves. So we're gonna be honoring Shaquille O'Neal, Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Dawn Staley. Do y'all remember John Carlos and Tommy Smith? Anybody remember? Yes, sir. Got a young people. Raise that fist. There you go. We're giving them the Social Justice Award. They will be there.
All right.
We need us to remember who we are. We need to educate us. I was 16 years old before I found out Cleopatra was not Elizabeth Taylor. Because that was the narrative they kept pushing. It's time for us to change the narrative. So every year we're going to be doing this. Next year it might be you getting an award. But it's going to be important. We're going to also honor Joe and Pam Bryant, Kobe's parents. Because people seem to have forgotten them. We didn't. So that's what we're going to be doing, and this is why it's so important for you all to stay active.
Thank you.
And I want to just take a moment to just acknowledge Brother Gary. His work is a large part of why we're here. When Travis put a call out, he called. This man answered, reached out to Ben and to others, and here we are. So we just want to be clear that the people that are on the stage, they bout that life, for real, that social justice life of just really pushing the envelope. So he's not just up here talking, he has done the work, and we all benefit from his work. So, Jana.
Thank you for your work, Mr. Gary. Yes. And so my next question is from my sister, Melissa Smith-Haley. She is the 14th president of the National Association of Black Social Workers. She is the graduate of 2 HBCUs of Xavier and Clark Atlanta University, and she is the director of supportive services for a nonprofit here in New Orleans. And so, Melissa, the National Association of Black Social Workers advocates for the inclusion of people of African ancestry at the decision and policy-making levels. What are some examples of policies at the local or state level that are most relevant or impactful for our student athletes? What can we do to ensure that those policies are beneficial and not hurtful for these young people? We'll start there. Thank you.
So thank you all for coming to this great city. You know, welcome to the Big Easy. And, you know, I am a HBCU mom. I have a daughter that goes to Howard University. I have a daughter that goes to Hampton University. And so I'm the real HU mom, right? So, you know, when I call my daughters my masterpieces, right? Because they are the best of me and my husband, the best thing that I created. And you all are masterpieces. Your parents sent you to the best institutions in this country. It's nothing like a HBCU. It is nothing like sitting next to people who you know they're going to be future leaders of America. And, you know, the fallacy that you have to go to school with white folks to learn how to deal with them is a lie from the pit of hell, right? Black people are not homogeneous. We come from all over. And if you can deal with black people, you mastered the game. You can deal with anybody, right? And I adore black people. And I dedicate my life to black people. And that's what I do. And as a social worker, I think it's real important for you young men to recognize that you don't want to be a statistic, right? Too often, we are defined by stereotypes in the black community. You are not the exception, you are the rule. There are countless black people who are just like you. You looking at them, right? And we're dedicated to you, and we want to see you do well. The thing that you learn that most people don't learn, and when I hire people, I'm vice president, I got a promotion. I'm a vice president of program and operations of one of the biggest nonprofits in this city, right? And what I do when I do an interview, I ask people, have they ever played on a team, right? Because if you play on a team, you can work in any environment. Because no matter where you are in life, you're going to always need somebody on point. You're going to always need a power forward in your life, somebody to carry you, somebody to make sure that's going to score. So it's important that you got the game, right? You know the game. So no matter how you play it, no matter if it's on the field, if it's in the law court, no matter where you are, you can do well at the game. So what you need to know about New Orleans, students changed New Orleans. This was a segregated town in New Orleans. And then there was a lawsuit, Louisiana versus Lombard. Louisiana versus Lombard, there were 4 students that desegregated a lunch counter right on what used to be Dryde Street. The street now bears my mother-in-law's name, Aretha Castle Haley. She was the only woman of the 4 students who refused to get up. And they were charged, and they lost, and they appealed all the way to the Supreme Court, and they won. They won. A Southern University student, a Xavier University student, a Dillard University student. All HBCU students who made a difference in this city, in this state, and in this world. So don't you believe that you can't make a difference. There are policies coming up. Gerrymandering is something you need to know about. There's a concentrated effort in every one of y'all states, because all I heard was southern states, right? That's where HBCUs are. And there's a concentrated effort to stop you from voting, to stop the representation where you can only have one congressman, because Troy Carter is a Xavier University alumni. He is the only congressman, black person, that represents the entire state of Louisiana. Wow. So it's important that you know you got game, and you got to play on and off the field. You have to represent the community at all times like your mama looking at you. At all times, like your mama looking at you. And what's she gonna see? Because you on video. And everything you do can change your life. So I'm talking to you as a social worker. You need to stay away from drugs, because it will change your life. You could easily be a client, right? But you can also be a counselor. And we need you in our community to do what's best for our community. And I thank you for coming here today. All right.
And for our last panelist, a brother who you've seen him move around the country. And, you know, the reality is this, is that Brother Francis and I, we move around the state of Georgia and need security in the state of Georgia. This brother moves around the entire country. And he is under constant threat because of the work that he does, the people that he represents. And he stands 10 toes down with courage, stepping into spaces that they wouldn't want him to show up. And they get fed up when he shows up. But he keeps showing up, he keeps standing up, and we appreciate his courage, his intellect, and the work that he does in the interest of our people. Please welcome Brother Ben Crump.
Thank you, Attorney Davis, for always standing for our people too, King. Thank you.
I'm going to ask you a quick question. You moved around since 2020 with George Floyd and your handling of that case along with Brother Chris Stewart. Have you seen change that these young people can hold their hat on, or is there more work to be done based on what you've seen across the country with police violence in our community and with largely young brothers, even though we also, in your representation of Breonna Taylor, that sisters are getting in the crossfire of police as well. What are you seeing? What does that role look like ahead for these young people?
Now, thank you, Attorney Davis and Ms. Davis. You know, obviously, George Floyd being tortured to death for 9 minutes and 29 seconds helped galvanize people all across the world. And it's important that we use that momentum. It's very interesting that we're here with the HBC All-Stars basketball players. As Mr. Aubrey said, when he looks out there, he sees you all as being representative of his son. Well, Mildly, guess what? They're also representative in a real way of George Floyd, because George Floyd was a phenomenal basketball player.
That's right.
And when America saw him, they didn't see the humanity in George Floyd. They saw this big black human being. And so we have to remember every chance we get, history, Mildly, that